a lot of great new bands out there, but sometimes you just crave the comfort of a classic. So Teresa Strasser has some huge 90s bands with brand new music coming out this spring.
The 1990s were, brace yourself, 30 years ago, and if you grew up during that time, you might be feeling like a vintage human being, but you shouldn't. Many of your favorite bands from back then are still at the forefront of music today.
That seems sort of crazy that we think of 90s bands as sort of the contemporary rock acts. But at the arena and stadium level, it really is. Dave Matthews Band, Foo Fighters.
Chris Willman, senior writer and chief music critic at Variety, says our 90s favorites are still as relevant now as they were back then. Not only are many still touring, but they also are releasing new music.
Fortunately, those 90s acts are keeping themselves in good shape musically, and even if they're going to doff their shirts and show us their torsos like the Red Hot Chili Peppers do, you know, they can still do it without embarrassing themselves.
Chris gave us the rundown on 3 bands that were huge in the 1990s and have new albums in bloom this spring. First up, Metalheads Rejoice, Metallica is back.
Metallica holds a special place in rock and roll in that they are the one quote-unquote metal band that I think everybody wants to go see.
72 Seasons, Metallica's first new album since 2016, is set for release April 14th. For the alternative rockers out there, Smashing Pumpkins are still going strong. They first announced Autumn, a rock opera in 3 acts in 2022, to be released in 3 separate parts.
Smashing Pumpkins kind of upped the nostalgia angle a little bit by announcing this 3-record concept album as a sequel to Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness. Their big mid-90s breakthrough album still gets played on the radio today.
The third and final installment of Autumn, Act 3, drops April 21st. Finally, the Dave Matthews Band is back with new studio material with Walk Around the Moon.
Dave Matthews Band is one of those groups that could never put out another album for the rest of their lives and still fill amphitheaters for the next 30 years or so, I think.
You can find the new album in record stores on May 19th. The 90s are alive and well on the playlist.